What's up, everybody? Ninh Binh and the surrounding scenic landscapes are some of the most famous in the country, particularly the north. It stands alongside places like Ha Long and Sapa, and in the humble opinion of this dog, it's the best of the three because it has all of the beauty, but is by far the most accessible of the three for bike trips. Being between 2 and 3 hours away from Hanoi, depending on traffic, it's an easy weekend getaway that you can do for yourself. Places like Hang Mua and Chang'an could even be done as day trips if you're really an early riser and don't mind a sore ass from sitting on the bike for that long on a round trip. So, documentation. Let's go. Head south out of Hanoi. Now, admittedly, southern Hanoi is not one of the most exciting nor relaxing places to ride. Once you make it to the southern end of the industrial corridor, your eyes might be scratchy and your lungs may hurt, but once you make it past Hanam, it's totally worth it. This is also where you'll start seeing the iconic karst mountains that make up this area. The next big river you cross will bring you into Ninh Binh province, then the one after that will bring you into Ninh Binh city limits. You'll actually want to head west here before getting into the city proper because most of the goodies available around the city are actually more easily accessible from the famous little town of Tam Cốc that sits on the southwest of the city, and you can skirt around downtown by taking these countryside roads, which are, I assure you, better than driving through urban Ninh Binh. Now, this seems like as good a place as any to make note of the hotel situation in Tam Cốc. While there are a couple of hotels around, they are few and far between. The name of the game in Tam Cốc is the homestay. There are hundreds of them in town and spread throughout the rice fields. They are a way better experience than hotels. We've come here countless times and have yet to meet a family running one of these homestays that haven't been wonderful. And they all have amazing views and usually pools and the like. Anyway, once you're settled in, hop back on the bike, and most homestays will have rental bicycles if that's more your style, then head off to Hang Mua. The entry fee is a flat 100k per person. Dogs are free. When you first get in, there are a couple of restaurants, snack shops, souvenir shops, and on an island in the middle of the lake that's in the middle of the valley, there's a cafe and a massage parlor, like a legit one. Keep in mind that you can also stay right inside the park at this eco lodge.
This one, this little polar bear here. That's a really small one, but it's gonna grow and grow.
The gardens, lakes, and lotus fields are worth checking out for an afternoon anyway, but at the far end you'll get to a small cave on the right, the Mua Cave. It's alright. It's got a tiger. Okay, quick correction here. This is actually Dong Huang Ho, as it's clearly labeled above the cave. Hang and Dong both mean cave, and Ho is tiger, hence the tiger statue. The name Hang Mua, which means dancing cave, came about because this is allegedly where Emperor Chen Taitong would come while on vacation to watch sexy dancers dance. So the dancing cave came to be the name for the entire complex of caves and the mountain, not a single cave itself, but rather the place where Boss Man would come to watch proto booty shaking. Anyway, the real draw to come here is on the left, up the stairway with the dragon statue handrail. There are 500 steps to the top, or around that. The new smaller ones have been added over the years to make ascent easier. Now, as we make our way up, let's get to what makes this place what it is. That's right, you get to hear this dog ramble on about some history, but you get to do it while looking at pretty views. So, yeah. Back in the 13th century, the Mongolian Empire had taken over most of China and had started calling themselves the Yuan dynasty because they were insecure with their non-Chineseness. The Song dynasty controlled Guangxi in southern China, and the Mongolian Yuan were determined to get a pincer position by attacking them from the north and south. But to do so would mean that they have to attack from Vietnam. Chen Taitong, the emperor of Dai Viet at the time, wasn't having any of it. So they invaded and made it all the way to Hanoi, Tang Long at the time, and burned it to the ground. While Tang Long remained the capital of the Dai Viet Empire, here is where Hua Le comes into the picture. It had been the first capital of the Dai Viet Empire after freedom from China, though was shortly moved north to what would become Hanoi. It had remained a refuge for the royal family to escape the hecticness of Hanoi over the centuries, and though the official capital remained Tang Long during this next century and change, much of the administrative work moved to Hua Le. The district within Ninh Binh City still bears this name. The Lying Dragon Mountain that Hang Mua is in, Nguyen Wat Long, had been a religious site for time immemorial. Just a quick aside here for Vietnamese learners, the Vietnamese word for dragon is con zong, and that's what's used in normal speech. But the Sino-Vietnamese long, from Mandarin, well, long, is used for proper names in mythological situations, such as Nguyen Wat Long, Tang Long, or Lac Ng Quan. Oh, and the Lying Dragon Mountain uses the verb ngoa, as in to lie down, not fibbing. The dragon nge tells no lies. Anyway, it was then utilized for the obvious military tactical advantages of being able to survey the path that invading armies, now tourists, would take on approach from the north. The grotto at the base of this mountain and the mountain itself would go back and forth between sites of leisure and religion and military use. It was even the site of a mobile hospital outfit during the American War. By 2000, the site was renovated and became a tourist destination for locals and foreign tourists alike, quickly becoming a staple of visiting the north. About 2/3 of the way up, there are two separate peaks to choose from. On the right is a Buddhist pagoda, which was initially built in 1428 and is now a notorious selfie spot. There will be a line, rain or shine, of tourists waiting to get a selfie there, so we went left to the higher peak. This is the one that has the dragon statue, depicting a dragon named Nye, and a white marble statue of a Buddhist figure. Oh, this is a name. Let me try this. Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, which we in our ignorance forgot to get a good shot of. This figure is mostly known around the world by the Chinese name Guan Yin, but in Vietnamese, Quan Am. Looking the other way from the viewpoint or the summit, you can also see passing boats being paddled along the winding rivers of the Chang'an complex, an amazing sight that we'll cover shortly in another episode. As Chang'an is a much larger international attraction, both for tourism as well as historical and scientific research, that is likely what led you to come to Hoa Le district. So if you're ever in the area for that, definitely come check out Hang Múa and Mua Long Mountain. A final piece of advice is to try and time your hike of the mountain for either sunset or sunrise. As we aren't psychopaths and don't wake up to do a hike before dawn, we'll just trust that the sunrises are as nice as the sunsets, because they're genuinely beautiful with these mountains as a backdrop. Well, with that, it's time for us to head off, so good morning, good evening, and good night to wherever you're watching from. Make sure to lick that like button, pause subscribe, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye! Oh, and watch out for buffalo.